All right, sweet. We're live. What is up, Mike? Thank you for joining me again for another fun movie night. Today we got Jack Frost versus Jack Frost. 97 versus 98. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is. Thank you for having me, Jason. Let's talk snowmen.
Yes. Also, I guess we should also say thank you to Famra, our sponsor, for hooking all this up. Thank you so much. Check out the Famra app. It is free in the Apple iTunes Store, Apple App Store, iTunes Store. I'm not sure what they're going by now, but it is free. So check it out. It's a good time.
Do it. Thank you,
And
Famra. Jack Frost.
Jack Frost. I guess
Where do we start? This is
let's
a
start
very
with
particular genre of movie.
yes. Let's start with the 90s, the earlier one, 97,
Yes.
the horror film, and it's just something that will always. Sorry, I got my pugs running around like crazy here, knocking cords over, unplugging things. Fantastic. Sorry, there we go. That's back in the charger and good. Okay. Yes, I will never forget the VHS box as a kid in like Blockbuster, and it's just had the holographic cover, and the back of the holographic cover was Jack Frost, the snowman, in a shower sex scene, and I'm like,
Yes.
this movie looks incredible.
Yeah.
I have to see
I
this.
I had the exact same experience where I saw it in the video store before ever actually seeing the film. And I remember, I don't even know if this movie had a theatrical release.
Mm.
It, I want to say that it did. It had to have. But I also remember that hologram face and the Jack Frost in a shower with a woman, and I was very confused by this image. I feel like there are these formative experiences or encounters with eroticism that you have as a child who goes to video stores or watches movies. I feel like a lot of people from our generation talk about how Titanic was the first time they ever saw breasts, and
Interesting.
I feel like my formative erotic experience in cinema was in Species.
Okay.
There's a scene where the beautiful alien
Mhm.
stands naked before a man, and it was the first time I'd ever seen a naked woman. I was like, oh my god, what is this? And then she they start kissing, and she rams her alien throat down she rams her alien tongue down his throat and kills him. And I feel like there must be some sort of psychic effect that scene has, but we may never know. And I feel like the Jack Frost cover and that scene between Shannon Elizabeth, that's her first role.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, before American Pie.
That encounter between Shannon Elizabeth and the snowman left some sort of stain on a generation of child blockbuster attendees.
For sure. Yeah, I think my first encounter with anything like that was the third boob in Total Recall. I think maybe
The third boob, or
that
the
could have
third
been
boob in Mallrats.
it. Yeah. Um, it's just so funny because I think I was exposed to enough at the time I saw the VHS tape in Blockbuster. So when I looked in the back of the box and saw a snowman having a shower sex scene, uh, it was so ridiculous and funny to me. I laughed out loud and had to show my brother and mom, look, a snowman in the shower having sex. Like
Well,
it's so ridiculous.
there's so many levels of cognitive
Yeah.
dissonance that have
Mhm.
to be crossed for this image. It's kind of surreal. There's kind of a weird Dadaism to the sentient snowman, where it's like, number one, how does he have sex? Number two, he's in the shower. Showers are hot places. He is made of snow.
Right.
There was
If you notice that the carrot though was not on
right.
his face.
That is true. They discovered this originally. He was just supposed to crop up in the shower and murder her.
Okay.
and it wasn't in the editing room until the editor pointed out to the director, hey, you know this looks like he's fucking her, right? And they re-edited it and like added some sound effects
I
to
thought
like
that
sell
was.
the idea that the snowman is raping her.
Well, I guess I got 2 points to make here. I do like how in that part, it's like they put a lift or an elevator inside the bathtub, so he like just rises with her. So it looks like he's forming, but it also looks like they're just rising up on a platform at the same time. Uh,
Yeah, there's a really demented vision at work with the 1997 with both Jack Frosts. Both
mhm,
Jack Frosts are disturbing in their own way,
yeah.
but we'll stick to the um the earlier one. This is definitely in the same genre of, say, a Chucky or like the Charles Band films like Ginger Dead Man or Evil Bong, where the killer returns as uh, as an otherwise inanimate object.
Hmm, hmm.
And again, I feel like another effect of another thing that I feel like I experienced in childhood was like a strong attraction towards animism, where you feel like inanimate objects have distinct personalities. I feel like I watched Brave Little Toaster and I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
of course the lamp has feelings. That
yeah,
totally
yeah.
makes sense.
Beauty and the Beast and like the
Yeah,
candelabra and all that
Lumiere,
stuff. And
all this, all this stuff. You feel like these things, when you're not looking, they must move, they must think, they must feel. And in a world where there are such things as Jack Frosts, you feel like you're encouraged to feel this way.
it's funny earlier you brought up the music, and I thought that was a strange thing. How I feel like during each kill, like some kind of like surf rockabilly music would come on, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you going for? I
I
think maybe someone like was looking up like different music genres, and they're like, "There's a genre called psychobilly. Oh, we're
Oh yeah,
playing
yeah,
some
yeah, that's like
psychobilly."
the Cramps.
Yeah. Um, sorry, these dogs keep knocking over my cord here. There we go.
So this was written and directed by a guy named Michael Cooney, and I haven't really explored his filmography, but I do know that he did say the only reason why he directed Jack Frost was because they couldn't get someone else to direct it.
Wow, that's funny. Mhm. I
Um,
I heard something of this guy's project and the other Jack Frost guy's project before, but I forgot what they were. I feel like the guy that did the Michael Keaton Jack Frost went on to do Daredevil.
oh
The
my God, with
the
with Ben Affleck,
yes, yes, and I think I want to say Elektra also, but I'm not sure.
that's so good.
Yes, hilarious.
Troy Miller,
There you go. Yeah, I think that's him. I didn't do any research, but I heard that somewhere. Um,
that's, I mean, he did the Dumb and Dumber sequel, When Harry Met Lloyd.
okay, is that the prequel one?
Yes, that is the prequel one.
Yeah.
The
I love Bob Saget in that one. He's like, "There's just
yeah,
shit
well,
everywhere. He shit on the white walls."
I mean, yeah, this guy's worked with Cat Williams, Martin Short, Dave Chappelle, David Cross. I mean, this guy's coming. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but the director of the second Jack Frost
Mhm.
film from 1998, the Michael Keaton version, has a strong background in alternative comedy. This kind of heartfelt family film seems like kind of a stretch for someone with that background.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Um, but perhaps we should return to the psychobilly
Yes.
mania of the serial killer Jack
Do you,
Frost.
my impression the first time watching it was like, I- I feel like they tried to make a horror film, and then it wasn't until like editing they were like, "This is too silly. We got to make it like a comedy as well." So let's throw in some silly sound effects and maybe some reshoots here and there. But I don't know. I feel like that comedy was an afterthought to the horror element.
You have to wonder. I mean, like, when you're making a film, things evolve and can change on the spot, and you kind of don't know what you have until it's over.
Mhm.
It might be that, when there was some traumatic experience in Michael Cooney's early days, and he had some traumatic encounter with a snowman, so his whole life he's like, okay, I'm putting all of my fears and anxieties into this snowman screenplay, and it's the scariest damn thing I've ever written, and it's gonna frighten the pants off of all the Christmas time moviegoers. Then slowly but surely, the tone and the edges chip away, and it becomes this object of ridicule that haunts you. I mean, this is pure speculation. This is
Right.
but this is the problem with this is the gift and the curse of film theory is it's all speculative.
Yeah, it's like you wonder how genuine it is, or what they were going for originally, and what it changed into. I guess the first time I watched it, I was dabbed out and off my rocker, and I was I was really trying to comprehend things. I didn't know what was going on, and I had to watch it again the next day sober. So I watched the movie twice, and then
Damn, that's really good, dude. That's tight.
And then I watched Jack Frost 2 right afterwards.
Oh shit, the sequel to the
Yes.
to the Killer Snowman one.
That's right. They are on an island.
They were gonna do a third one.
I heard he's gonna be like a Godzilla in the third one.
That's so dope.
Yeah, he's
good
like a
good
kaiju.
for them, man.
Yeah, that'd have been cool if they would have made like a kaiju film. It would have been fit perfectly with like the Sharknadoes and things like that came out around like later.
It's
I
almost
guess-
better that it's probably going to like it's gonna not only re-jumpstart the kaiju genre, but it's also gonna re-jumpstart the snowman genre.
Yes.
The snowman is such a weird figure because if you for all of you people at home who remember way back when we talked about the Wicker Man and the influence of paganism in that film, and I feel like there's something pagan about the snowman. There's something about like creating the shadow self in the effigy in snow, and we dress them in our clothes, and we give them our attributes, but our strengths are their weaknesses, and vice versa.
Made during the winter solstice. He is created and comes out.
Ari Aster's Jack Frost, the Killer Snowman.
Brilliant. Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm in. I'm gonna watch it.
Starring Dwayne the Rock Johnson as Jacked Frost. And,
in part 2 of Jack Frost, the horror film, remember in part 1 where the FBI agent, FBI, he's just some secret government stooge, I guess. I forgot his name. Manners, right? Agent Manners, I believe, because he had bad manners. But he died, and spoiler, and Jack Frost, he got chomped away by ice teeth. He returns in part 2 on the islands, and he is like a detective or a sheriff there on the small islands, and of course it's a different actor playing him, and he's wearing an eye patch, kind of like Nick Fury or something, and he says, don't tell anyone it's me. I had to go through like 7 reconstructive surgeries.
That's so good.
Yes, and even the girl from the first one, who was always like had the hair dryer and makeup all the time, and saying she has to look good all the time, whatever. She is getting married in the second one. That's why they're on like the islands, and she made a joke like, "Oh, that Agent Manners, he's so much more handsome now." It's like it's so good. They totally play into it. It's way more comedy. I'm not sure which one I enjoy more, Jack Frost 1 or 2, but
you're making a really strong case for Jack Frost 2. Is the soundtrack still psychobilly, or does it have like a more of a Jimmy Buffett Island Casual vibe?
I think yeah, both. I think I don't recall very much. I do know they did make like an original Christmas Jack Frost song, not too dissimilar from the Michael Keaton
the Jack
Jam
Frost
Band song. Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yes.
Oh,
exactly.
that band. Well,
They're like the Bruce E Street Band, kind of.
They're on some Stevie Ray Vaughan shit. It's some
Yeah.
white guy blues. It's real. Like I saw Jack Frost, the Michael Keaton one, when it came out, and not to age myself, I was still a kid at the time, but I was probably a little bit too old for that kind of fare at the time.
Same.
But like there's so many details that had eroded from memory, and like when it's revealed that he's like a Stevie Ray Vaughan white blues guy, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, holy shit.
They
Like
even
we're
show
in this.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. Like at one point, they're watching Stevie Ray Vaughan music
He's
videos.
like, I played with this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that shit was wild. That was
yeah.
wild.
I
Like
love
we're in
how
this world.
I took a picture on and I put it on Instagram, but there's a scene where it's like the beginning opening credits, and it
And
says
Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins. Yeah, Henry Rollins is on there, but it's showing Michael Keaton and his jam band. It's hilarious. It just the
Yeah, it's
juxtaposition of
crazy. Like the decision to put Henry Rollins in this movie and not have him rock out when the subject matter is a rock band is
uh-huh.
insane.
And who's trying to sign this? Like, is it Christmas themed jam band?
And they can only play at the record exec's house on Christmas Eve.
Uh-huh. Yes. Yeah. What the demand.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, there's so many weird things. I guess first of all, which Jack Frost are you more afraid of? The serial
Yeah.
killer Jack Frost or Michael Keaton Jack Frost?
I think serial killer Jack Frost, just because he seems more invincible to Michael Keaton Jack Frost. It was really hard to kill the serial killer Jack Frost. They needed like antifreeze. Like he doesn't do it. He just reforms. He can melt himself and reform, so he can go
Oh
under
yeah,
doors and things like that. Michael
because of this.
Keaton, he is melted by the sun really easily, but he can reform himself in the snow, because we saw him go from thin when he's skiing to bigger. But he is powered by magic.
Yes.
See, like serial killer
Mhm.
Jack Frost is technically in the bounds of science.
Yeah.
You can defeat him with science technically, because he's created by these chemicals.
Well,
So
I think he froze on the YouTube.
I think we're back. I think it's good. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, no. So like 97 Frost is like we already discussed, is in that subgenre of serial killer comes back as an unstoppable object.
Mhm.
And 98 Jack Frost is in another subgenre of movie that was really popular at the time, which is deadbeat dad dies and comes back as something else. There was another film, Fluke, where the deadbeat dad comes back as a puppy dog, and
Oh wow.
I feel like
I do remember that.
there were a number. I feel like there was one where a dad comes back as a radio. He's communicating with his kid through a radio.
That's yeah, he was a firefighter.
Yeah, he came back as a fire.
Frequency.
Yeah, that's it. But so this is part of a long and proud lineage of film. The thing with this Jack Frost that you pointed out is he fucking melts when he comes into contact with the sun. Which, what cruel god decided this afterlife for this man? Like, it's a really horrific kind of karmic turn of fate.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I come back and I get to see my family, but the sun hurts me, and I'm freakish to everyone that I encounter. Also, I don't know if you made this association, but the face of the Michael Keaton Jack Frost
Oh, I heard.
looks discomfortingly similar to the pale woman from the Alan Schwartz Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark drawing. Do you remember that character?
No, I don't. I know what books you're talking about, but like I never saw I don't know what you're in particular what you're referring to. I know there was a TV show or TV show or movie about that as well. Did they?
Yeah, there's this one kind of formless, large pale woman with stringy black hair and this face that kind of looks like the Jack Frost Michael Keaton snowman. But it's profoundly disturbing.
Were you the one who told me why it was like that to begin with?
No, I don't think so. Tell me.
Apparently, George Clooney was supposed to play the role of Jack Frost. Yes, and he took on the role to do Batman and Robin instead.
Smart move.
And yeah, and so they got Michael Keaton, but they're like, we already have the snowman. We're not going to change it. It's made by Jim Henson and stuff. It's like, it's done. So I guess it does look kind of like George Clooney, if you kind of compare the two. He has the little
Damn,
beady eyes.
imagine, in that. See, this is just rubbing salt into the wound. Imagine you die trying to get back. You blow off your biggest gig to try to get back to your ungrateful family. You fucking die in the process, only to come back as a snowman that terrifies everyone, burns in the sun, and this horrible trickster demiurge of a god tells you you're going to look like George Clooney when you come back to Earth, but it's the snowman version of George Clooney.
Yeah, with a
It's
fat ass.
horrible.
Yeah.
What a jip of a reality.
Yeah. It is highly messed up. It's funny because I guess like this one got his powers or something through the harmonica. I guess he said it was a story he made up though about who the
He's looking at
harmonica's
Wayne
previous
Gretzky
owner
poster.
was. Right, right. Maybe it was Wayne Gretzky, right? Power of
No,
Gretzky.
he like also, again, like white blues man thing. He's like, I got this from, Blind Wayne on the,
Yes.
and he's like, you can't like even make up a more bluesy name. You have
Yeah,
to
it's
look
got
at
to
a
start with
Wayne.
Blind. Yeah, because I love like Blind Willie McTell and Blind Lemon Jefferson. So it's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
exactly.
of course, this mystery blues man is blind as well. But it would be funny because I mean, did he make up that story? He said he made it up later on. But it's like if it was true that if he did get the harmonica from the blind blues musician, they could do a prequel and have it be about that blind blues magician and or blues musician and making a deal with the devil, maybe, and that's how he gets his snowman powers.
Yeah, I mean,
Prequel to Jack Frost.
you could bring in, Heat Miser and Cold Miser, and like there's this infernal Christmas Yuletime hell reality.
Yeah, it's just a tornado.
I wanted to talk about the dog in this movie. There's some really fucked up dog acting. Yeah,
with
yeah.
Michael Keaton.
In the Michael Keaton,
yeah,
Jack Frost, there's some really fucked up dog acting, where this dog is left outside for long periods of time in the freezing cold weather, and I feel like this is really bad dog parenting.
Yes. If you notice during the closing credits, the last thing you see is the dog leaving the house and the family. Like, I'm the fuck out of here. Like, fuck this family.
The dog
just leaves the house and walks down the street into the neighborhood and just is forever gone.
Well, I think the dog is carrying the magic with him into the. He's spreading the tale of Jack Frost and blind Wayne Gretzky, and that last shot is meant to highlight the fact that every house on the street has a snowman in front of it, which it seems to imply every snowman has a story, or maybe like every house has some absent bluesman father that's going to come back as a. He's not upset when he comes back. There's very little acknowledgement of the fact that he's been dead or that he's now a snowman,
and that his bandmates is now with his wife.
Yes, and he seems to be oddly at peace with this horrible reality that he encounters. There's a disturbing moment where the dog steals his mitt.
Yeah,
and you see that he just has he takes the mitt off at a certain point though, and you see that he just has this gnarled branch, which is again it's more disturbing to see that than to like really think about the machinations of how this snowman rolls snowballs, opens doors, teaches his son valuable life lessons.
Yeah, taught him the J shot, how to play hockey.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like the knuckle puck.
That kid was terrible at hockey.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like hockey. He's like, no, you like hockey. You're good at hockey. No, not really. He's like, no, you're good.
The again, the inclusion of Rollins as the hockey coach brings such strange energy.
The pissed off hockey coach. And,
he's so mad.
Yeah, he's like that gym teacher in Beavis and Butthead. He's just always breaking a blood vessel.
Oh yeah.
That's I thought that was great. I really want to see more Henry Rollins. We did get wasn't the kid in the backseat from Pete and Pete where
You might have been.
he's
There was
talking to the
some really
snowman.
good. There was some really good styling on the bully kids.
Hmm.
I feel like there was a kid in a cowboy hat and a kid in like a ski mask, and it was just this really motley crew.
Yeah.
The main bully had Oakley's. He has this line where after they're like, "Oh man, this kid sucks. We can't even bully him anymore. He's so sad." And the
His
bully
dad's
goes,
dead. He's boring now.
Big deal. I never even met my dad."
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh wow, his dad's dead. Oh, who cares? I never even met my
Fucking
dad.
welcome to Dead Dad City.
Yeah, totally. Which reminds me, I guess, of the first Jack Frost, the horror film. That town was called Snowminton.
This is so good. I mean,
It's so good.
the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, man, Jack Frost 98 or Jack Frost 97 tops Jack Frost 98.
Classic, man. Yeah,
Yeah, no, really fucking good.
it was the strangest episode of Twin Peaks yet. It
Yeah,
couldn't
no,
fit in there
totally.
perfectly. Yeah.
I mean, what was the one lesson you took away from the Michael Keaton Jack Frost? If you're the stand-in, if you know the child is clearly the
I
audience
guess.
stand-in.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So you are Michael Keaton Jack Frost's son, effectively. What is the lesson that you take away from this movie?
Right. It's like, what lesson is there? It's like
God exists and
take
he's
care.
cruel.
Yeah. Take care and appreciate
Just
your
really
family
mean
while you
God
have
out
it.
there.
It's like, what? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It's just truly cruel and bizarre. Uh, the poor kid. I mean, there was one great acting point for the kid. I will give him props. It was the part where the mom was trying to go into the driveway and he's shoving the driveway and
Oh
the
yeah.
snowplow comes and covers it over again. He's like, God damn it, I just finished shoveling it. He's got to start shoveling again. He's so tired. And mom comes up and he's just struggling. He just can't get through it. And he's, losing his cool, is going at it. And then, the mom's like, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. And then he's like, no, I got to do it. No, I got to do it. And then at one point, he like breaks the very, very last second, like the last like syllable of like, no, I can do it. It's fine. And it's so subtle. And the mom notices and says like, what's wrong? Whatever. And like, it's like the mom notices like that subtleness of that
No,
small
there
break that the audience probably caught as well. And it's like, yes, that's perfect. It just
no, and
hit
then
that moment
she
was great.
goes and she envelops him in
Mhm.
her arms, and they're both kind of huddling and crying in
Yeah.
the driveway. No, I think you're actually getting to something, and I will commend Jack Frost 98 on this. There are some very, very strong actor moments, particularly early on. I feel like they do a good job of establishing the chemistry between
Mhm.
that family. Um, I don't know how well placed it is in the context of a kids movie,
Mhm.
but some of the exchanges between uh Keaton and his wife, her name is escaping me. It's John Travolta's late partner,
Right.
Kelly Preston.
Thank you.
Um uh some of their exchanges feel very naturalistic. I think he had worked with that kid before, so he had a working relationship with the child. There's some, again, odd idiosyncratic moments. There's a dick joke when they're making the snowman, where he
Yeah, the
puts
carrot
the
down
carrot
logo.
where the dick is, and the kid says, "Oh, I said nose, not hose,"
Yeah,
which could be an allusion to the film that this is an unofficial remake of, the 97 Jack Frost.
true. And yeah, it makes me wonder is if Michael Keaton, Jack Frost, that snowman was he even ever alive? Was this all in the kid's head? He was actually just talking to a still snowman the whole entire time.
Yeah, I mean, again, this asks, what is a snowman? What is a man?
What makes a man? What makes a snowman?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot to unpack there.
uh, Keaton gives a really good performance in that last split second when he reveals his true form
Mm.
to the
When
family.
when he's was it Jedi Ghost Michael
Yeah, and
Keaton?
it's Jedi
Yeah.
Ghost Snowman Michael, Blizzard Michael
Uh-huh.
Keaton. He does have a tear in his eye, but the dialogue is very strange. He kind of sings a creepy few bars of, every time we say goodbye, I cry a little. It's very odd.
Yeah, he was singing that to her earlier, I think. It's like
Yeah.
their song or something. But I thought it was funny how the
But he sings
snowman was
he sings a rockin' version of Frosty the Snowman on stage.
true. Yeah. Well, I was thinking because they're at the end, that the same scene where he's the ghost, but before he turns into the ghost, he's still Jack Frost the snowman, and he's there and actually moving, and it's the first time the wife finally sees him, and she's like there, like smiling, and in wonderment at the whole thing, and not scared or terrified at all. And then turns into Michael Keaton, and she's like, "Oh, it's you! Like, did you not know what was going on? Like, did you not pay attention to what your son was saying the whole entire time?" Or I don't know.
If your partner were to die and come back as a snowman, what would your reaction be?
Uh, yeah, pure terror.
Yeah. What I would think I might have lost my mind.
For sure. Yeah, it's horrific.
There's an unintelligible Lovecraftian horror quality to the Jack Frost mythos.
Yeah, you just can't put your finger on it.
He rides the sled like a snowboard.
Yeah, he broke it in half and just turned into a big snowboard. And it's funny because like the kid's half of the snowboard was like his for like the first couple scenes, and then later on towards the end, it was just like a regular snowboard. So pretty good.
It was really good.
Yeah, there's such different films. It's hard to decide, I guess, which one's better or which would. Let me put it this way: which one would you watch again in the next 5 years? Like, what's the first one you're popping in again if you had to watch one?
I would probably pop in 97 Jack Frost.
Yeah,
98 Jack Frost was really upsetting in a lot of different ways. I'm going to be honest, we've been doing this series now for many years, and this was probably the hardest one to get through yet.
yeah, definitely. I had to watch Jack Frost the first one twice, and that was like I thought the first time I was like I'm never gonna watch this movie ever again, and then I come to kind of appreciate it for what it was, and after seeing Jack Frost 2, it just made the first one even more endearing. And
yeah, I mean, they're building out a universe. There's a
yeah,
cosmology to the Jack Frost cinematic universe.
yes, continuity,
Yeah,
really good.
I feel like with Jack Frost 98, there's a sense of people showing up and thinking to themselves, "Well, it's a paycheck. I guess I'll do this snowman movie. Michael Keaton's in it. He's cool. Henry Rollins is on set for a couple days. That sounds neat." There's a workman-like quality to the craft in Jack Frost 98 as far as the filmmaking is concerned. Jack Frost 97, you can tell this is a low budget affair. It's pretty bare bones and it's means. It's lean.
Yeah.
Jack Frost 97 is lean, and something comes through the filmmaking like, God damn, these people had to be there for this. These people had to show up to make this movie.
They had to show up every day.
It had to be willed into existence, and I feel like there's something compelling about that. Even though it's far from. This is a controversial statement. It's far from my favorite horror movie. It's far from my favorite slasher film.
Sure.
Even as far as killer becomes something else and comes to kill again, it's not even my favorite of that kind of film.
Yeah,
but it is my favorite killer snowman movie. I will give it that.
That is fair. What did you think of the vehicle of the transport of Jack Frost? How the two officers were behind this like frosted glass with winds and snow blowing at the windshield, and they're just kind of huddled together, doing their scene in this little tiny circle of frosted window. That seems like they were holding up out of frame, just like right here.
It felt like I mean this in the most complimentary way. It felt like a school play in some ways. Like
yes, it did.
You do have someone just outside a frame. It's just this. It's a literal frame.
Mm-hmm.
It holds the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. If you get a chance to watch part two, it's on YouTube for
I'm
free.
definitely gonna watch part two now,
It's
especially
on
now that I know
YouTube.
it's like Jimmy Buffett vibes. That sounds great.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like it. It's I think maybe the camera quality gets worse.
Oh, good.
But they do creative things with the locations. I do believe they turned like I think it's just one house and they turned it
He-
into everything like a tiki bar and like a little dance thing and different scenes because you're kind of like all over the islands. It's not just like one little tiny
I'm
location.
looking at the poster art alone, and
Mhm. Yeah,
I'm
do you see
already
the
sold
you see
because
the snow?
he's wearing sunglasses in a lei,
Uh-huh.
and there's another smaller Jack Frost
Yes.
in his mouth. So there's this idea of like a
Alien.
fractal yeah, or alien. There's like a if H.R. Geiger designed the Jack Frost snowman, there's but also this idea of like the fractal snowman universe where it's snowmen nested within snowmen, like this Russian
Frosted
nesting
Russian
doll of
doll. Yeah.
frosted tips. It's the more I learn about this
You'll find out
franchise,
that
the more excited I am about this kaiju snowman.
yeah, I hate to spoil it, but in part two, they find out that uh, the antifreeze no longer works, and so they have to figure out a new solution. And what he evolves kind of into, he turned into a bunch of little tiny snowball guys, which you see on his tongue. So they're like kind of, I would compare them to what is it in Star Trek? The little tiny furry guys that just like
The
implode all over.
Ewoks.
Not not just Ewoks, but Tribbles. Yeah, the Tribbles. The Trouble with Tribbles is the episode I was thinking of. Or like critters, there's like little tiny things that are
Oh yeah.
spread everywhere. And and they're extremely ravenous and hungry and they're hard to kill. They're impossible to kill like him. So they find a different solution on how to kill it, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Um, but I feel like a handful of the cast from part one returned for part two. So it's on
That's
YouTube
so
for free.
good.
Check it out. Yeah, check it out.
Damn, you're really selling Jack Frost 97.
And it has a post credit scene, which hints at the kaiju version of Jack Frost for Jack Frost 3 if they were ever to make one. And apparently, if you watch past the credits, there's another like post credit scene
A
where
post credit scene?
post credit scene where it's just like it's just a shot of like a furnace room like being zoomed in on and two actors doing dialogue talk like they're stuck in there. I think it was where I think it's the woman who's there for her wedding and she's there with her to be husband and I think they're just got left in this closet or whatever and they're stuck there. So maybe they're gonna die in that room. I don't know.
This
But
sounds great.
yeah,
This is like Uncle fucking Vanya. This is amazing.
yeah. How would you make the Jack Frost 3 then if he's a kaiju? How does he turn into this kaiju?
Well, I feel like yeah, I'm assuming he melts, right? That's the punchline.
I think so. Yes, he does
Okay,
melt. That is one
so
of his
he
powers. But
melts and he evaporates,
mhm,
and you have these Jack Frost particles
like acid rain.
in the atmosphere, and one of these, all you need is one drop of Jack Frost, one little drop, and he falls down onto the top of this snow-capped mountain, and it starts a not an avalanche, but like a Katamari. Do you remember that game
Yeah,
Katamari Damacy?
yeah,
Like a
yeah.
Katamari, there's this snowballing
Uh-huh.
effect where he rolls and he rolls and he rolls and he rolls into this massive kaiju snowman that you kind of is supposed to look like George Clooney, but it's voiced by Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and he's got really buff snow arms.
No more twigs. No more twigs.
No, no, no,
Well, the
no.
'97 one had kind of rounded arms. Yeah, yeah. But he's
Uh,
not ripped.
no, no, now he's not ripped, but he's got an award-winning smile. Like this Jack Frost is really charismatic. Um,
Yeah. Does he
I
keep the
feel like
sunglasses and lay?
yeah, yeah. I mean, probably two pairs.
Yeah.
One over the eyes, like one on top of the on the forehead.
Hmm. Part
Um,
two, I mean, part one, you saw him make tons of puns, like every kill. Part two, it's like even crazier. And yeah, um,
so
God, yeah, I don't,
you talked about Batman and Robin.
mhm.
Um, if you remember in that film, Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Mr. Freeze,
That's right.
Dr. Freeze, right?
Mr. Freeze. Yeah.
He's Mr. Freeze, but he's also a doctor,
I think he's also a
which is
doctor.
It's
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
I feel like he would be correcting more people on that if he was a real doctor.
Right.
But call me, Mr. Freeze. Dr. Freeze was my father.
Yeah. He might just be a scientist. I'm not sure if he's quite the
So
doctor level.
he's not a real doctor.
No, I think there's a lot of stories to his origin where it's like he just wanted to free his wife from being frozen because she had some kind of incurable disease, and there's other ones where he worked for the Nazis and he was also a Nazi at the time, but he's
I
just
think in
trying to
Batman
do
and
it for the
Robin
technology.
to explain in Batman and Robin why he's played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a scientist and he's also like a former Mr. Universe contestant or something like that. But anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze delivers a ton of ice puns.
Yes.
It's like freeze, chill out, cool off. He goes, at one point he goes, "What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age," which is not what killed the dinosaurs at all. I feel like a scientist, if he's actually a scientist, he should probably know that. But I remember in college, my friend and I developed this drinking game where every time Mr. Freeze makes an ice pun, you take a shot. And we thought this was going to be great fun. And he makes like 15 in the first 8 minutes. So
You're like, "Oh, God."
you get wrecked like before the credits even hit this movie. But I am a Batman and Robin apologist to this day. I think that the art direction in that movie is so cool. It's so maximalist, and the color is so garish. I think it's I miss this quality in superhero films that I feel like there's this need for seriousness in a lot of them,
Sure.
and I feel like the Joel Schumacher films really understood that there's a clownish nature to these
Yeah.
characters.
I still enjoy Batman Forever. the with Jim
Batman
Carrey
Forever is fine.
and
I
Tommy
mean,
Lee Jones. Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones hated Jim Carrey. Did you know this?
In real life?
Oh yeah,
No.
he hated working with him. In fact,
That's
I think
amazing.
he had a terrible time with Carrey on set, and like at one point Carrey like saw him in a restaurant, and he came up to say hello, and like Tommy Lee Jones like went white as a sheet, and he goes, "I don't know what you're trying to do, but I hate it. And I hate you." But
Wow.
if there was going to be a third Schumacher Batman film, and I think this is one of the great tragedies, he was going to put Nick Cage as Scarecrow, and that would have been such
Wow.
good casting.
That's awesome. I did not know. Is that true? He was gonna do that?
Yeah.
That's really
Nick Cage
cool.
was going to be Scarecrow.
That'd have been fantastic. I think would have had more Batgirl as well. Alicia Silverstone.
Oh yeah,
She was
and
there at the front end.
Chris, who was Robin?
Yeah. Chris. Yeah, I
Chris Robin.
forgot. I was Chris. Yeah, I was thinking Chris Robin as well. I was like,
Christopher Robin
Christopher
from
Robbins. That's him. Yeah, with Winnie the Pooh.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm like, Chris Pine? No, that's not it. Chris Connor? Chris
Chris
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell?
That's
Chris
Chris
O'Donnell.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
there we go. We figured
That's
it
it.
out.
That's it. Wow, that
It's a
took me
movie
a
show,
while.
everybody.
Took me a while, but yeah, we did it. What's kind of neat with what's going on with the Batman comics now is they recently brought back Batman '89 comic, so it like continues the story of what the I guess third Tim Burton movie would have been.
Huh.
Um, and I forgot the original writer of that, but the script. But I think they're writing the comic as well. But there they have Harvey Dent, played by the guy that was in Star Wars. Shit, Han Solo's best friend or whatever.
Chewbacca.
No, not Chewbacca. The other dude.
No, Lando
Lando. Thank you.
Calrissian. Lando
That dude
Calrissian.
that played Lando was going to play Two-Face.
Who? Yeah, fuck. Well, because yeah, he is Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
Harvey Dent does appear in the first Batman film.
Yes,
for sure.
yes, yeah. And then I think apparently Marlon Wayans was going to be Robin.
Billy Dee Williams.
Thank you, Billy Dee
The man. He
Williams,
was also
Colt
the
45
spokesman.
guy.
Yeah, spokesman for Colt 45.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think we've talked about this, but I watched Space Jam 2, Electric Boogaloo, and
Oh man.
have you seen it?
Wait, Space Jam 2 or Looney Tunes Back in Action?
Space Jam 2,
Okay.
the one that came
No,
out this year with LeBron
yeah,
James.
I did not see that. I think it's on HBO.
It is. It's really fucked up. This will put a bullet in your fucking mind. Some of these sequences. I think Space Jam 2 is a very interesting exercise in uh, something that hasn't really been explored before, which is a potential cinema or a cinema of potentiality. So, like, I'm sure you probably know this much. Like, the whole thing takes place in the Warner Brothers server, and there's obviously like a missed opportunity to call it Cyberspace Jam. They don't
Yeah,
even go to
yeah.
outer space in this. But
Interesting.
the thing is, they bring in all of these weird Warner Brothers IP. The agents from the Matrix are there. The Betty Davis from Whatever Happened to Baby Jane is there.
So it's like Ready
Um,
Player One, but just Warner
but
Brother
they're
properties.
all in the audience of the big basketball game.
Weird. Okay.
But like the really fucked up shit is like you start looking at the crowd and you're like, oh man, like they're kind of making some interesting pairings. Like there's a box where it's a Voldemort and like the guys from Clockwork Orange, and you're kind of like, oh shit, where's that movie? You know, or like
Just hanging
no,
out
but
together,
the
yeah.
thing the tie into what we were just talking about is all of the Jokers are hanging out together, and you're kind of like, oh shit, where's the Oops All Jokers movie?
I guess in the comics, they have that Three Jokers comic that came out recently.
No shit, do they?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
Well,
right,
it's
well
funny
that
because it sucks because there's just this. We've trailed way off from Jack Frost, but at the side tangent. There's a story written by Jeff Johns back in like the New 52, like this thing DC was doing at the time, and there's a part where Batman gets in the Mobius chair. The Mobius chair is like a part of the New Gods mythos, and whoever sits in the Mobius chair is pretty much just one guy. But you can see and know like pretty much everything when you're in the chair. And Batman, for whatever reason, can survive it. And he sat in it, and he was like asking it questions. He like asked the chair like, I think, who was the Joker, and the chair said there was three Jokers, and he knew who they all were. And so people were like, what's going to happen? They never explained that ever. And the writer eventually moved on from writing comics, mainly does TV shows and movies and things like that now. But he wrote Doomsday Clock, the sequel to Watchmen comic, and he was going to do a whole initiative with that, and then editorial kind of took over as he was writing it, so it didn't finish or do what he wanted to do, and it's no longer important, so it doesn't mean anything. And then same thing with the Three Jokers storyline. He never got to tell that story, so they made a DC Black Label series, which is kind of like Elseworlds, pretty much like not continuity. Unless you like it, then it might be continuity. But people were hyped because like you're finally going to explain what happened in the Mobius chair thing and whatever, and it's not related to that at all. It's just its own little small different thing where there are three Jokers and they took place during this thing. And it's not even a good story, just the art is great in it. But yeah, unfortunate that something that cool kind of concept wise was shut down. But yeah, you're right. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if
wait,
if
it's a
cinema
big
audience.
deal that it's a
Good?
big deal that Bruce Wayne can sit in the Mobius chair, right?
I guess so, yeah. But I think
So
he had to acquire that power or something somehow. Yeah.
So no mere mortal could sit in the Mobius chair,
Right. Yeah.
but a snowman could sit in the Mobius chair.
Yeah. Yeah. What would Jack Frost do if he sat in the Mobius chair and knew all?
I mean, this is clearly part of the Jack Frost 3 kaiju.
Yeah. And modern audiences, just want the Joker Frost multiverse, so.
Yeah, I mean, if it worked for Spider-Man, it could work for Jack Frost. And
that's the
damn,
new thing.
okay, so you get the 97 Jack Frost, the 98 Jack Frost. They're in the same movie.
Jack Frost 2 with the
You have to
snowball guys.
imagine also, I mean, as a kid, I knew that there were two Jack Frosts.
Right. Yeah.
When I saw I remember seeing the preview for the Michael Keaton Jack Frost and thinking, wait, they already made this movie and he was a bad guy. Do you think? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you have to imagine like films take a long time. Like
Yeah.
the Michael Keaton Jack Frost film could have been in development for years and years and years.
Yes, yes. I heard that
And
the serial killer Jack Frost was started or made in '92,
yeah, it was
and it
93.
didn't
It
come
was
out.
92 or 93. I
Okay.
think it was shot. It was shot in 93, and it didn't come out. But regardless, they were probably somewhere in the development stage of 98 Jack Frost. They saw the serial killer one and thought, ah, shit. Okay, fuck it. I guess we're Jack Frost too. I don't know.
Too late
we
now.
can't change the name for some
Mhm.
reason.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder what was in the zeitgeist around what '92 was. It was what Twin Peaks, right?
Yeah.
You had the small town and these woodsman people and murder happening in the city. How about that old man that was dead, that was frozen in his chair, and they kept rocking the chair that he was in?
So good. So good.
I'm like, why is he rocking? Is it breezy outside? Then at the end, they're like, take your foot off the little row there at the bottom. Hilarious.
So good.
But yeah, I feel like it was a little bit Twin Peaks, inspired. I think that was the hot thing back then.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like David Lynch's Jack Frost would have yielded.
Equal results.
Yeah, I wonder what. I mean, okay, so again, it's like, well, now we know who's going to direct Jack Frost 3.
Yeah, the kaiju
If
one.
it's if
Sure.
we can't get if we can't get Ari Aster, we're getting
Uh-huh.
David Lynch to direct Dwayne the Rock Johnson in Jack Frost versus the Mobius chair.
Uh-huh.
Um, again, I come back to the question of like, which Jack Frost which sentient snowman would you rather encounter?
Yeah, I
The
think.
the scary, off-putting snowman dead dad who is a white blues guy,
Uh-huh.
or the snowman that could kill you
Mhm.
but also might have sex with you.
Right. Uh, and he does like to party.
He's good with, I mean, he's got jokes, man. He's got jokes for
he's
days.
he's got jokes, puns, quips. He's got it all. And in part two, he's him in a little snowball form. He's drinking drinks and singing songs. He's having a good
Damn.
time. So I don't know. I'd still rather encounter the blues dad, Jack Frost. I feel like I wouldn't be in any danger in particular.
How
I
many
don't know.
songs do you think the Jack Frost band actually had?
I think they have like 5 songs, maybe 9, because they have a full album, maybe. But it could just be an EP, a demo that they've
Yeah.
been playing for the
I mean,
past like 5 or 10 years.
we know they have Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah. Uh huh.
They probably have a version of Rudolph, maybe We Three Kings.
Yeah, maybe like Beach Boys style. I'll have to do like harmonics on that. Um, they have that
Little
one
Saint
song.
Nick. They pro-
Yeah, they have that one song that he was singing to the wife all the time.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean,
That's
they
like,
probably do Elvis Blue Christmas.
yeah, and it definitely a Stevie Ray Vaughan cover somewhere along there.
Yeah,
They're like,
for sure.
they just jam out for a long time. They say like just Merry Christmas and like solo for like 10 minutes.
You know, they make it seem like this guy's a struggling musician. Do we know what his day job is?
That's it. I think he's just a musician, right? I mean, that's weird because the other guy that in the band that is now with his wife works in a hardware store.
Yeah, I mean, it's this small rural Colorado community.
Mhm.
He could be a logger. It could be another Twin Peaks thing.
Yeah, yeah, he works there at the
You know,
factory
and
or
I'll
whatever.
remind you that
Mhm.
Joan Chen's character in Twin Peaks dies and becomes a
A doorknob.
doorknob.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, again,
This takes place in Twin
I'm
Peaks.
not saying David Lynch ghost directed both 1997 and 1998's Jack Frost movies, but there's the evidence keeps mounting up.
Yeah, I think Snowminton is right next to Twin Peaks. They're
Yeah,
like,
definitely,
yeah,
100%.
yeah. It's like just a little further past the trees. You're in Snowminton. It's the same little suburban area. Yeah, and yeah, Josie became the doorknob, and I think is forever part of any part of the wood. Apparently, in the lodge now, she can, like, I guess, teleport. That's her
But
only
she didn't.
power.
There was no appearance of her in season 3, The Return.
Correct. Yeah, but I think it was in the one of the books. They said that her face, like, there's one scene where the guy who found made the fish in the percolator that found Laura Palmer's body.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah, Jack
guy,
Nance.
Jack Nance. Yes, thank you. There's one point where he walks. He's like walking, and to the right is like just part of the lodge or wood. There's a scene where he's just walking, and he goes like peeks over, and then he like comes back and starts walking. I think in the book, like one of the Mark Frost books, I think, says that he saw like Josie's face or something, talk to him for a second, and then he like shook it off and like just kept walking.
Well, I
And
remember
so,
there was that scene where Ben Horn and Ashley Judd's character listen for the high pitch ringing in the room.
yeah, I remember that part. Yeah, that could be it too. That could be
I don't know.
I love Twin Peaks theory, and throwing this into the Jack Frost world, perfect sense.
Yeah.
Same thing. Well, so we've been going for an hour about nonsense. Thank you all for watching. And those who are watching, thank you, Mike, so much for doing this fun activity, man. I really enjoy, us doing this together. It's a lot of fun, man. And thank you
my
so
pleasure.
much thank you so much to Famra, our sponsor. Check out the Famra app. It is free. A lot of fun. You can go in all kinds of different environments on there. We're sitting in director's chairs on the app right now. Looking good.
We hit the big time, baby.
We did it. Big bucks. Jack Frost 3, here we come.
There we go. The real directors.
Yeah. What are we doing next week?
Next week is the Black Christmases.
Okay.
So we're keeping this Christmas theme alive.
Yeah. So, there we go. Those who want to keep up with this and maybe talk about it next week, those, that will watch this, doing Black Christmas next time. So that's cool. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Mike. And see y'all later.
Have a good night, everyone.